begins with words. The words of a great playwright's most popular success. To adapt these words to the world's most popular musical show took the combined talents of Alan J. Lerner for book and lyrics and Frederick Lowe for the memorable music. The result? My Fair Lady, the longest-run play in New York history, applauded from London to Tel Aviv, from Berlin to Australia, from Tokyo to Rome. On February 6, 1962, headlines shouted that Warner Brothers had outbid all other studios for the motion picture rights to this hit of hits. The world awaited with anticipation the announcement of stars for those cherished roles. When Jack Warner revealed that the leading role of Eliza Doolittle would be played by Audrey Hepburn, that Rex Harrison, who created Henry Higgins both in New York and in London, would recreate him once again for the motion picture, and that Stanley Holloway would duplicate Alfred P. Doolittle, his original role, it was plain to all that there would be no compromise in bringing this distinguished play to the screen. Mr. Warner further underwrote his determination by announcing he would personally undertake the production. Before a single camera could roll, endless problems of planning, design, conception would be met. The logistics of handling thousands of extras, ranks of period automobiles, and numberless special property details, from a cabinet full of tuning forks to custom-made wallpaper for Professor Higgins' home, must be researched and solved. Chosen to lead this unprecedented filming was director George Cukor. World-famous artist, designer, photographer, and author Cecil Beaton had astounded and amazed audiences with his fabulous design for the New York and London productions of My Fair Lady. His selection as designer of the vastly expanded motion picture was inevitable. From the four corners of the world came the richest of fabrics, exotic feathers, beads, jewels, the rarest and the most unusual of furs. Night and day for months, the wardrobe department worked at full capacity with an army of seamstresses, drapers, milliners to turn out a total of over 1,000 costumes. Cloth of gold and zebra skin, ostrich feathers, and miles of rich stuffs passed through their skilled fingers. Volume upon volume was researched, with 250 individually designed costumes specified for one scene alone. Months of designing and building culminated on the August 13th starting date, when the great Super Panavision 70 cameras began to roll. While the principals are prepared in their dressing rooms, the thousands of other players are handled in the biggest makeup and costuming operation in motion picture history. An entire stage has been turned over to wardrobe and makeup in order to do 2,000 female makeup jobs and 1,500 male makeup jobs. It takes 17 wardrobe women, 26 makeup men, 35 hairdressers to take care of these supporting performers. As you can see, the preparation of wigs alone is an enormous job. Each one must be selected and fitted so that it matches the complicated millinery the ladies are wearing and is in keeping with the costume. Sometimes just getting on a hat seems a small science. With so much hat and so much hair, it is indeed a science. If you have any doubts as to the complication of male makeup, just look at the preparation needed for beards and mustaches alone. Each one classified and cataloged and assigned to a particular actor. They start work on the big stage in the wee hours of the morning, and still by the time costumes, wigs, and makeup are set, it may be getting uncomfortably close to shooting time, as you can tell from this sign. Get makeup, get body makeup, get wigs, get dressed, get going. The rush of these early morning hours is responsible for some quite remarkable mixtures of costume. And these costumes, hailing from a more leisurely and graceful time than ours, present some unexpected problems for modern girls. Take, for example, the hat you can't get into a phone booth, and the spectacle of afternoon snacks out of coin machines being consumed by these fashionable ladies, so well dressed they can't sit down except on stools. Or you might mistake this girl for Little Bo Peep, were it not for the fact that she uses the typewriter so proficiently. As the next shot is planned, the Ascot ladies rest while the appearance of an assistant dance director strikes a colorful note amidst the black and white of their costumes. But there's the call for the take, and they move out, each one conscious that she wears a gown of supreme distinction, which must be in perfect array for the camera. The rivalry between the beauty of the costumes and the ladies who wear them is apparent. Off camera, on every side, one sees beauty set out in the most spectacular style. Meantime, the producer is checking the previous day's footage with the film editor. Note the width of the 70mm film Mr. Warner holds up. It's exactly twice the size of ordinary film. This is Super Panavision 70. The producer has made a choice. This is 27A Wimpole Street, the home of Professor Henry Higgins, a bachelor of means. Now this house is crowded with the camera, cranes, booms, microphones that intrude to tell her story. The cinematographer is Academy Award winner Harry Stradling. Working with him is head electrician Frank Flanagan. Together they will light this scene from the battery of lamps that circles the set at all levels. Each shadow cast is a dramatic consideration. The dark and the light are controlled as delicately and perfectly as the values of a portrait painter. And the great crane works out and in with the easy rapidity of a giant finger carrying the enormous Super Panavision 70 camera. This is the day of the ball. But all the guests have not arrived yet. The My Fair Lady trolley is still trundling them down the Warner Brothers streets through the crisp morning air toward stage 16. And here we see at its most striking the contrast between the formality and high fashion of the play and the sunshine and shirt sleeves reality behind scenes. As another busload of ladies is unloaded, their fellow players converse in the sun or simply wait patiently for the next scene to be called. The producer double-checks the day's progress on a scale model as assistants take note of his instructions and clarify the sequence to be filmed. Dancers and stand-ins for the stars begin to take their places on the grand ballroom floor so that the camera movement and lighting can be plotted out. Sweepers give final touches to the polished floor with their mops between the couples. No detail must go unchecked. One young lady from the wardrobe department is known as the glove girl, her entire duty being to see that each lady on the dance floor be supplied with spotless gloves at all times. The ballroom that will be so glamorous in moments to come is still cluttered with ladders and lights and the paraphernalia of the men who make it work. From the earliest viewings, everyone knew that this was no ordinary film, but a great motion picture for the whole world to see, enjoy, acclaim, and see again and again. A truly memorable entertainment experience.